Hello, Alex here. Interpreting sure is a heck of a profession. According to some mysterious study that nobody has ever seen, apparently, it's one of the most stressful professions after being a fighter pilot. Also, interpreters often get blamed for misunderstandings. That's stressful too. And those of us who have ever worked in an overheated booth sure know what the greenhouse effect feels like. But, in my opinion, there's another stress factor that doesn't get enough attention, again, in my view, and that's sitting. Sitting kills. Sitting.
Smoking.
Every time you sit down, a kitten dies. Think about how much you sit, just for a moment. You sit here in the booth. You sit at your desk, at home. You sit on the bus, on the train, on the plane, all the time. And that's not very healthy. But what exactly makes sitting so bad? Let's take a closer look. When we sit in an interpreting booth all day, we tend to slouch and hunch forward. We want to be closer to the mic, for example. And it's also natural for humans, and I suppose most of us are humans, to lean forward when we communicate with something because we want the other person to understand us. It could be the speaker in the room, it could be the listeners in the room. We lean forward. And we also lean forward to increase our attention, which is important for interpreting, of course. And it can be the same for consecutive interpreting. You'll be sitting at some kind of conference table, hunched over your notes, you'll be scribbling frantically to keep up with the speaker, or you may lean forward to get a better understanding of what the speaker is saying. So it's the exact same problem. All in all, it rarely takes longer than 15 minutes for your body to start slouching again and to lose the good posture. And you know what you look like when you lose that good posture? A ski jumper. Don't be a ski jumper. Because when you're a ski jumper, again, you lean forward and that can lead to back pain and eventually headaches. Let's move further down to your hips. If you sit in a chair all day, they can't really move and they become tight. Not a very healthy thing to do. Or your lower back. As you sit in that chair all day, that will increase the pressure on your lower back, on the spinal discs, and you want to keep them moving. Don't keep them stiff. Or look at your knees. If you keep them in a bent position, which is what happens when you sit all day, that can shorten the patellar tendons, and again, that can lead to pain in your knees over time. Sitting also slows down your digestion, especially after lunch, and I'm sure you know what I mean. So keep your food intake light and healthy. Avoid the big portions, and for the love of God, please avoid the cookies during the coffee breaks. Now, as if all that wasn't bad enough already, sitting also impacts your professional performance. Because, as you probably know, breathing and speaking are intimately connected. So, if you don't breathe properly, you can't speak properly and you can't interpret properly. And that is a problem because if you sit like this, that means that your neck muscles and sort of your upper neck muscles have to do much more work to keep your head in the right position. That again can lead to neck pain and headaches, which is not what we want, of course. But all that muscle work here also restricts the larynx, which takes care of all the breathing for you, which you need when you interpret. So keep up that good posture and breathe properly. So in order to be helpful, Lourdes and I have prepared a few tips. So there are a few things, of course, that you can do about this whole problem. First, just be aware of the issue. Be aware that you should have a good posture, sit upright, and breathe properly at all times. Second, renegotiate your relationship with the microphone. First of all, you don't have to be that close. It's okay to be a little bit further away from the mic. If, however, you feel that you're too far away, maybe your console can be moved. You can bring it a little bit closer to you so you can keep that upright sitting position. Another solution would be for you to use a headset with a built-in microphone. That has the added benefit that the microphone is always at the same distance to your mouth, so it's a little bit more pleasant for the listener to listen to you because it keeps the volume steady. And you, as the interpreter, you can move around and be as far away from the console as you like using that headset. 3. Stand up as often as possible. That could be inside the booth, outside the booth, and if you wear that headset and use the built-in microphone, you could even stand up while you interpret. 4. Adjust your chair. This is the first thing that I do every single day when I come into the booth. I make sure that my chair is set up properly, and it's really not that complicated. Also, drinking. No, not that kind of drinking, water drinking. So you want to bring your bottle every time you go into the booth, and you make sure that you empty that bottle during the day or maybe even during the half day. That's very important and has several benefits. First of all, it keeps you hydrated. Secondly, it keeps your voice hydrated, and that's very good and improves your interpreting performance. And thirdly, if you drink a lot of water, well, you have to go to the loo quite often, which makes you stand up and move about, and you'll also have to get new water. Speaking of standing up, when you go to the loo or you go to get coffee for yourself or for your booth mate, then why not take a little detour? Take the longer way. Also, don't take the lift, take the stairs instead. Get moving. That's very important. And you can also use that time outside of the booth to take some stretching exercises or get some breathing exercise in to reset your good posture and your proper breath. Now, if you want to, you can also use reminders on your phone that remind you to stand up, or you can use a smartwatch like this or a Fitbit or something similar to remind you to stand up regularly and to get in some activity during our very sedentary professional activity. And of course, what's also very important, when you don't work, you need to get some physical activity. You can run, you can do yoga, Pilates, walk the dog, whatever it is, just get moving. So I'm off. Bye.